June 11, 2016. Wembley Arena, London. 15,000 people are on their feet. The lights drop. A fog machine breathes smoke across the stage. Then she walks out in a black ball gown, diamond earrings catching every spotlight, red lipstick sharp as a blade. The crowd erupts like she's a rock star. She isn't a rock star. She's a woman who has already stolen billions. And the crowd holding those investment receipts has no idea. She grabs the microphone, looks out at 15,000 true believers and says, "Forget Bitcoin. OneCoin is going to be the biggest cryptocurrency in the world." The crowd goes insane. And somewhere in the building, her co-founder is watching the screens, counting the money flowing in, already knowing what she knows. There is no coin. There is no blockchain. There is nothing backing any of it. Just a laptop in Bulgaria, a fake ledger, and the most audacious financial fraud the digital age has ever produced. How did two people convince 3 million investors across 175 countries to hand over $4 billion? And how did one of them simply vanish? Bulgaria, 1980. Ruja Ignatova is not born into crime. She is born into ambition. Her family emigrates to Germany when she is a child, and she does what every immigrant family dreams their child will do. She studies hard. She earns a law degree, then a PhD from the University of Constance. She works for McKinsey. She speaks 5 languages. By her early 30s, she has every credential the Western world uses to signal trustworthiness. That is not a coincidence. That is a construction. Because the credential is not the goal. The credential is the costume. She understands something most fraudsters miss. People don't give money to ideas. They give money to people who look like they have already won. She didn't sell cryptocurrency. She sold herself. And through herself, she sold a mirror. A mirror that showed every struggling farmer in Uganda, every factory worker in rural China, every middle-class family in Germany exactly what they wanted to see. The last train out of financial mediocrity and a seat with their name on it. By 2014, Bitcoin has made early adopters rich. The news cycles are relentless. Everyone missed it. Everyone is furious. Everyone wants the next one. Ruja builds the next one. Except it doesn't exist. Here is the part most people miss about OneCoin. It wasn't just a Ponzi scheme. It was a perfectly engineered system designed to make you feel like an insider. And insiders don't ask inconvenient questions. It worked like this. You bought an educational package. Packages range from 130 euros to 118,000 euros. Not to buy coins directly, but to receive tokens you could then mine into OneCoin. The complexity was the point. A system you don't fully understand feels like a system only experts can exploit. And she positioned herself as the expert. But the blockchain underpinning all of it? A single database, maintained internally, no external verification, no public ledger. In 2016, a blockchain developer named Björn Bjerke was offered the CTO role at OneCoin. He spent one day reviewing the technical infrastructure and turned it down. His assessment was surgical. There is no blockchain here. Just a spreadsheet that Ruja's team updated manually to show investors whatever numbers kept them compliant. The MLM structure was her co-founder's invention. Karl Sebastian Greenwood, a Swedish entrepreneur who had spent years in multi-level marketing, conceived the commission architecture. Every investor was also a recruiter. You earned commissions not just on what you bought, but on every person below you who bought in. The system had up to 140 recruitment levels. By 2016, annual sales were hitting 4 billion euros. They built ranks: Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald, Diamond, Black Diamond, Crown Diamond. If you wanted to become a diamond, you recruited more people. The people above you got richer. The people below you believed they would too. And nobody asked to actually spend their OneCoin on anything, because the exchange that was supposed to allow that was always coming soon, always under development, always just 6 months away. It was a machine built to extract money from hope, and it ran in 175 countries simultaneously. This is the part they don't put in the headlines. The headlines talk about billions, but the billions are made of individual lives. In Uganda, a teacher named Lillian invested her entire savings, money she had been setting aside for years, into OneCoin packages because a recruiter told her it was the only way people without bank accounts could access the global economy. In rural India, families liquidated land. In Nigeria, church communities pooled their offering money because a local leader vouched for the scheme at Sunday service. In Germany, Middle-aged couples borrowed against their homes. OneCoin targeted exactly the people Bitcoin had already passed over. People who couldn't afford to miss a second chance. People whose trust in institutions was so low that a charismatic woman with a PhD in a Wembley Arena felt more credible than any bank ever had. She understood that the poor and the aspiring middle class have one thing in common. They've already been left behind once. They're primed to believe someone finally built a door for them. She built that door, charged them for the key, and locked it from the inside. By 2016, regulators in Germany, Norway, Hungary, Finland, Bulgaria, India, and China had all issued warnings. OneCoin continued to grow anyway, because the MLM structure meant that millions of people were financially invested in dismissing every warning. If you acknowledged the scam, you acknowledged that you had helped recruit your sister, your best friend, your priest into it. The denial was not stupidity. It was self-preservation. The year it starts to crack. Internally, Ruja knows. The emails obtained by investigators later show her in a panic. She writes to Greenwood in a leaked message that would later be used in court. Take the money and run and blame someone else for this. That is not the message of a visionary. That is a woman who has already calculated the exit. On October 12, 2017, the U.S. Department of Justice files a sealed warrant for her arrest, charging her with wire fraud, securities fraud, and money laundering. The warrant is sealed, meant to be secret, meant to give investigators time to position before she knows. But she knows. October 25, 2017, Sofia, Bulgaria. Ruja Ignatova boards a Ryanair flight to Athens, Greece. She is dressed normally. She carries luggage. She passes through the terminal like any other traveler. No scene, no chase, no last-minute arrest at the gate. She lands in Athens, and she disappears. The FBI names her to its 10 most wanted fugitives list, one of only a handful of women ever placed on it. Her brother, Konstantin Ignatov, takes over OneCoin. He is arrested at Los Angeles International Airport in 2019, caught almost accidentally. Agents had been watching him for other reasons. Under pressure, he breaks. He turns state's witness and testifies from the inside. His testimony demolishes what was left of the corporate fiction around OneCoin. Greenwood is arrested in Thailand in 2018. In 2023, a federal judge in New York sentences him to 20 years in prison for orchestrating one of the largest financial frauds in human history. He does not see her in the courtroom. Nobody does. Mark Scott, an American lawyer who laundered over $400 million of OneCoin money through fake private equity funds, is convicted and sentenced. One by one, everyone in the machine is swept up. Everyone except her. Here is what the investigators know. After Athens, money trails point to Dubai. The 2024 Dubai Unlocked data leak, a massive release of confidential real estate records obtained by investigative consortium OCCRP, shows that Ignatova and her associates purchased villas and luxury apartments in Dubai's most expensive districts. In December 2019, while investors were still trying to recover their losses, she sold a Dubai penthouse and pocketed the equivalent of 1.5 million euros. She owned a $17.75 million penthouse in Kensington, London, mostly empty since she vanished. Some investigators believe she is alive, moving between jurisdictions that have limited extradition cooperation. Some believe she had help, that the scale of OneCoin's global money laundering required relationships with people whose interest in keeping her hidden runs deeper than loyalty. Some believe she is dead, that someone with $4 billion and a list of powerful enemies who expected returns doesn't always get to choose when they disappear. There is no body, no confirmed sighting, no verifiable trace after October 25th, 2017. The FBI is still offering a reward. 3 million people are still waiting for justice they will almost certainly never fully receive. And somewhere, in a Dubai penthouse, in a fortified compound, in a morgue no one has connected to her name yet, the Cryptoqueen is either laughing or she isn't laughing anymore. But here is the part that should keep you awake. The $4 billion is gone, not seized, not frozen, gone. Filtered through shell companies and offshore accounts and cryptocurrency wallets and fake private equity funds in the Cayman Islands. The legal system caught the men around her. It convicted the lawyers, the brother, the co-founder. It built cases, won verdicts, handed down sentences. The money did not come back. The victims did not get whole. And the system that let her operate across 175 countries for 3 years, while regulators issued warnings nobody enforced, that system is still running, right now, wearing a different name, promising a different coin. The only question is who is standing in the crowd believing in it.